Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So, welcome back. I am going ahead and I am participating in the TGC Tours off-season. I did not realize that you could do this, but someone let me know you can still play these events. They're just not counted, really. The Platinum Tour is the only one scoring them, but you're still able to participate. So just to get more rounds in, I'm going to go ahead and do that. You know, obviously not able to qualify here. I'm honestly debating, do I throw these in to the TGC Tours stream or playlist? And I guess I will do that. I'll just attach them onto the end of Season 10. And that way they'll be in TGC because they're not really part of the career series. So I think that would be confusing, but it's all off-season work. One thing I am trying to do, there was also a suggestion, and I've heard it from people before, I've heard both sides, of wired controller versus not wired. I am going to play this first round with a wired controller. Definitely very different feel. Just for those who may not have been around when I made the change back last season or the season before, I started playing Pga Tour 2K23 with a wired controller because that's what I had. I also figured it would be simpler. It's wired. It's not going to have the opportunity of batteries running low and suddenly connections fail in the middle of a round and throwing me off and this, that, and whatever. As I was struggling to get better, I continued to do research on, is there really any difference? And really the deciding factor that people had was any third-party controllers, which at this point is what all Xbox wired controllers are, because Microsoft no longer makes wired controllers because their new consoles use wireless. Which also then logically lends to the understanding of if a console, which is going to be doing first-person shooters, lots of things that are going to require very effective feedback, similar to Pga Tour 2K23, is exclusively on wireless controllers and also pushing those, obviously, because that's all they make as official controllers. Why wouldn't they work? But there was a bit of question recently as I've been working. So the way I tend to do things as an individual is I'm always open to feedback and always willing to see what my results are. I did already play an offline round of the same course that was the end of week 48. I ended up with a +5, so to me they're the same. My biggest challenge, however, is it does seem that the movements I've calibrated in my physiology to the controller that I had that is wireless are not resulting in the same swing path and so forth here. And so there is a concern because I'm pretty sure I'm just going to go back to the wireless controller because it feels better. It's just what I've used most recently. And if I'm not really seeing a difference, I'm worried I'm going to kind of botch my pathing there, if that makes sense. So really long introduction of where I'm at, what's going on, but for those who are following along and care, I know those things are useful to folks. So let's go ahead and play here at Cape Clements, Tasmania. All right, so 5,900 to 6,800 yards, depending on which tees it gives us. Normal, fairways, greens, medium, fast, clear weather. All right, so we're going to go with the long tees, which would make sense. Low wind, and firm and fast on the greens.
Hello there, my name is John McCarthy. Pleased to welcome you to PGA Tour 2K23. Hope your round is excellent. Nice little par 4 to start us out here today. Let's nestle this first drive up there in the fairway and we'll be on our way.
All right, so just again for feedback, transparency of kind of how I'm looking at things. So I went ahead, as I do at the start of a lot of rounds, especially again since I'm working with a new controller, and this is the first one we're showing. So I want to give it a fair shake, and did, I don't know, 10 practice swings or so forth. One of the pieces of feedback also was that the Xbox controllers, the native OEMs, they have what are called more polling points, where basically the controller sends output from whatever control you're doing more frequency. Think of it as like higher frames per second, but in your controller. So, you know, the Xbox controller might send 100 outputs where the OEM does something less. I don't know. Again, there was a video I found a while back where they had something plugged in or something that was picking up the signals, and that's how they were able to determine it. So it's someone with more hardware knowledge than certainly I have to figure out how to determine the controller outputs and so forth. And they were showing that there was significantly more outputs. And part of what they said that it will do is the amount of variations you can have on the swing meter result changes because of that. And so while I can get perfects decently, you know, and certainly in 10 swings with the wireless controller, I'll hit 1 or 2 when I'm doing those practice swings. I hit none, and I was basically at the same point, fast or slow, each time with the wired controller. And that was one of the things that did drive me to try the wireless. And then as I got my mechanics better, I started getting results that I was not able to get with the wired controller. And so that seems to be what's happening, perhaps. So like I said, I'm going to give this a try because I don't just want to do one round. You know, and I may do another round with the wired controller. We'll see how things go. But at some point, I kind of need to make a decision. Am I going to press forward here? Similar to when I made the decision of am I going to switch? And again, there was much more that was drawing me to go to the wireless from what my research was showing than the wired. So, I'd be lying if I'd say I'm not a little biased to, I think I've already tried this, but I'm giving it another attempt. So obviously I'm leaning toward it was good the other way, that's not what's potentially causing anything. Because frankly, when I made the other switch, I got comments as well like, oh, you think it's the controller. No, it's just you. But so to me, I would think the comments would be the same. Like, you're playing around with controllers, like, just learn how to play the game is kind of what the feedback had been from most people, but was just interesting. But, you know, regardless, with all that, I did get the input to try a wired controller. So again, I'm giving it another try just to see, now that my game has improved, and I'm not over swinging, and I'm not, you know, I'm doing different swing processes as far as how I'm looking at it and so forth, just to see what happens. But I did see weirdness in my practice swings.
Okay, we're off. Have a good one.
And that's pretty much where it seems to end up. And you can see the issue with the swing path. Like, not that I'm great on the wireless controller, but to me it's like if they're the same, it's hard to say. I don't know. I mean, if they're the same, I guess it's hard to say one way or the other. My concern is, I think I'm going to go do that. I have not done a practice round since these are not official. Like, they're not going to be counted. I tend to have gotten into the thing where I played the course once for TGC Tours before the events. But just like in the single-player mode, I just kind of jump in and play. I'm planning on doing that for the off-season events because they're practice in essence. So now the one thing I will say, like even with that swing, it didn't end up with a very fast. The one round, I did not get any very fasts or very slows, which happens, you know, which is I've done on the wireless, but it's harder to do, so that definitely intrigued me. You know, so there's a little bit of,
Nice tempo
you know,
on that
maybe
chip,
in that
just
case,
nice and
less
easy.
polling,
Well
if
done.
that's really what it's doing,
This putt, you can
will
save
help.
par. Good luck.
I don't know.
You are currently sitting right at even par.
But the other thing I have noticed
Teeing
is
off
it
now
seems
on a par 3.
that the fast and the slows, maybe because they're a little further away from that center point, they're flying a lot more to the sides than with the wireless controller as well. See, like I seem to be on the edges. I have I haven't had much luck of getting the swing on the wired controller toward the center.
A super long putt. No two ways around it. Let's see how you do.
Okay, decent swing path, but not at all. Clearly I misread.
Here's a 6-foot putt.
Not at all where I need it to be.
All right, the putt will drop on in there for par. Good stuff.
So, 2 pars.
All right, staying right at even par. And what will happen on the third? Let's find out.
All right, a long par 5. Not super long. There's some 600s we've run into.
Ooh, just a slice into that one.
See, and again, a swing path and that, like, they're coupled together. And again, you know, it'd be no different. I mean, eventually I'm sure I could, you know, playing rounds and rounds and rounds, I could maybe dial it in a little bit better. Not sure.
Yeah, the swing was a little bit...
Well, there's a very fast, so we've blown that out of the water.
Let's be careful getting out of here. Might not get all the distance you want in the deep stuff.
All right, so 7, about 10 yards back. So I'm going to stick with this. All right, what kind of bounce am I going to get? It's going to roll off. You can tell with the way things were lined up. All right, now this is typically a tough shot for me. So let's see. Ooh, I got a perfect. That is a first. So, you know, maybe it's a true wash between the 2 controllers. I don't know.
This putt's good so far.
All right.
That'll do nicely.
Disappointing.
Okay, even par at the moment.
But again, we did have that very fast in there, which obviously has an impact, especially on a long hole like that. It's hard to kind of regroup. All right, but same position.
My worst fears realized.
Yeah.
And from the green side, sand.
All right.
We're up and down here.
Go flop. Yeah, we're going to go with that. And we're going to assume, because we're on the edge of the bunker, that there's a little bit of a lie that will lean us to the right. So we're going to aim to the left to cover for that. Rolled off. But again, we do have the fast greens, so let's see. Not a great path. Little weak.
Ooh, well, you almost got that one to go.
But again, that was more part of the fringe. You know, I hit it where I felt I should have hit it, but probably needed a little bit more power because I had a good amount of fringe I had to eat. All right. See, and those are, like, that was a swing that it felt bad, and I think it would have ended up as a very something with the wireless one, but it's just, like I said, it's so hard to really, like, would it have or would it have not? All right, 34 is going to put me at 41, 137, so I really need to go up say 2, so we'll do that. I'm not sure if I must have hit the lip. All right.
We're back in the fairway. That's great news.
Figured the 5-iron might have been enough, but clearly
shot.
it was not. All right. So we're going to gain 6, plus we're going to get distant, yeah. Or we're going to lose 6, but so I think the other one's too far. Maybe not.
Setting up here for your 4th.
Holy moly. We'll go ahead and ship it, since it's technically not on. Darn it, come on, really? It's one of those. Not a big fan of greens that do that. I mean, I get it could happen in real life, but it seems a little phony. That's the things people complain about with some of the courses. Did not break to the left at all.
This one's a 3-foot putt.
All right, well, double bogey ends the streak.
Okay, 2 over par at the moment. We
Still
are
no
on
birdie.
the 6th hole now.
So we need a birdie. They counteracted each other, and we'll end up okay. Other than the roll, because we're fast. Oop, up a hill and a little bit back, so that's okay.
Could be a birdie on the scorecard if you drop this.
Could be.
Oh.
Just not happening.
Okay, here's a 4-foot putt for us. All right, in the cup for the par.
Yep.
Right now you're just 2 strokes above par. And now we're teeing her up on the 7th.
Man, this is a sloppy fairway. All right, a little bit better.
Looking pretty good off the tee. And this one's about 210 from the pin.
All right. You know, I will say, like, the one benefit certainly would be, like, if the wired worked and it was okay, I don't run into the situation where there are absolutely times where, like, the vibration will cease, and, you know, that's how I'm gauging my swing power as far as, you know, when I'm figuring out where it is, and then, you know, I take the swing more visually now to avoid the overpowering. I don't think, you know, I think I'm past the point where it, like, distracts my play, whatever, but it just, I wouldn't have to worry about that, because obviously a wired controller is always fully powered, and you have that going on. We're going to lose 5, gain 1. I'm going to pull this back some. Why is it showing the mouse? Is it, like, treating this as a mouse? That is odd, because I'm not sure. I must have used this. Now, again, I did start PGA Tour without the controller connected. So maybe it's acting weird that way because of that. Not sure. So if I do play another round with this, I may, just to be certain, exit out of PGA Tour and come all the way back in with the controller connected ahead of time and see if that changes. But seeing the mouse there is a little odd. Because I assure you, I'm not playing with a mouse. I'm using a wired Xbox controller. And I've tried to play with a mouse, because that is a way you can play in the tour, but no, not one that works well for me. Not at all.
This would be nice to get for birdie.
It would be nice to get. So let's get it.
Looking good.
All right.
Boom. Drops it in there. Nicely done for birdie. And you're sitting at 1 over for the round.
See, the difficulty with true comparison also
Okay,
is,
8th hole coming up.
you know, is this an easier course for me? Is it, I mean, I'm certainly doing well so far for what I would normally be doing. But like I said, is it, oh boy, I think we're safe from going in the water.
Well, that's too bad. Okay, we're setting
Yeah,
up
I
with
just,
an elevated
I
green.
seem
Might
to
wanna
have
move more
more
distance.
spray for whatever reason. And like I said, it's, you know, I mean, I did get the one perfect or whatever, so it's possible, obviously. It's just a lot more challenging. So there definitely doesn't appear to be as much variation in where my slow fast meter is landing. My timing meter, I guess, is what that would be. So this is 34, let's say 40. I'm going to go up 2 again. Uh-oh. Another very slow. All right, so I've disproven that
Okay,
it's
nice
going to
play in
help
the
me
fairway
avoid the
now.
very
Let's get
fast,
up
very
onto that
slows.
green.
So we can put that to bed, I think. Oh boy. Yeah, we can definitely put that to bed.
And this is your 4th shot.
So they behave the same. All right, good shot. Because, yeah, it was the chip that was perfect.
12 feet to go.
Didn't get it to fall, though, so if I make this, we're right back where we were.
That appears to be online.
Nope. I don't know what he was looking at. I could tell right away.
A little too
As soon as
hard.
it started to break, I'm like,
All right,
that's
let's
too
drop this one
early.
in for the double bogey. This putt's tracking.
Okay.
Good putt.
I was worried that wouldn't come back, but it
Currently
did.
Sitting at 3 over par.
All right, so 2 double bogeys, 1 birdie, and then the remainder
4
are
for this one.
pars. Finishing up the front 9 here. Oh my God. What the heck swing path was that? So
There we go. Good shot.
you know,
Okay,
draw to
remember that
center, the
shot number 2.
springiness, I'll
Let's see what
call
you
it,
got.
substantially stronger on this controller than the wireless one. So that's also been part of the challenge. Is I think that's part of what I have to overcome to get the swing path. And that's where I'm worried about, like,
What you did there.
trying to recalibrate my swing and then suddenly having difficulty. I think I did move a bit because it looked like it was going to move, but I moved too much. Oh, come on, and now I didn't move enough.
A bit too much power into that putt.
So what should have been a birdie now turns into a bogey, so that's pretty awful.
Fun here on this par 3.
All right. All right. So I think that's kind of what's pulling those swings. I almost remember.
Coach kind of missed the mark a little
I swear this looks similar
Let's
to
get up
what
and
I
outta here.
had before. Ah, too hard. I mean, it required such a quick swing. Oh, come on. It's going to roll off. Unbelievable.
And this is your 3rd shot.
Okay, so I can make perfect chips.
I'm liking that one. Nice chip. Okay, this one's for a bogey. Sitting at 5 over
Well,
par
we're
for your round.
dripping away.
Have a good hole. We've got a par
So
4
it was really a
for this
pretty
one.
good start. I mean, again, it's very similar to what I would normally have. In that I play well for some segment of the front 9, and then it seems like it leaves me. And I don't know if it's just exhaustion of, you know, like mental fatigue
We're in the rough,
or
and
what.
It is a bad lie.
All right,
Real deep into this
so we're going to go back, say 10, 20, a little over 20, 77. This might... I'm worried about going up here because that's going to be 22, say 25, and so that would put me... Yeah, that's not enough. Well, Let me pull this back and we'll go that route. Okay, we got a solid swing. All right, so the other one may have been too short for sure, but it's tough to get it to stop there. I suppose I could have put some backspin on it, which I did not. Not bad, but not great.
This one's just about 6 feet.
Man, there's a lot of movement.
So far, so good. And that putt of yours will drop on in there for the par.
All right.
5 over par currently. And teeing it up now on the 12th.
All right. 5 wood, way too far. 4 iron, probably not far enough. Good news is we got a swing. Is it going to clear the rough? No. But it will be on. It's just where does it end up?
I'm okay with that.
It's going to be a challenging putt. That's for sure. But okay, and it is downhill for all intents and purposes. Might be a little too hard. Oh, darn it. Almost.
7-foot putt here.
I think that would have fallen if it had hit the hole, so. Again, it's downhill. No!
Oh, it's going right by the hole.
Really?
Here is the bogey putt. And 6 over par on the round.
I cannot get myself a birdie here.
Par 4 ahead of us here.
All right. All right, better.
Looks like this one's in the fairway. And this one's about 125 yards out.
All right. I want to go to normal. Definitely, that's what I want right there. I keep ending up with 104. Like, it's more challenging. It's more challenging to get it to
and guess what?
Get close to the 101 here, too.
Here's a 17-foot putt.
Looks like a lot of movement that way. Downhill a bit. So I don't want to go too hard.
Getting there.
Oh, goodness. Good try, though. Good try.
On that one. Okay, let's go. This one is for par. That's going to do just nicely.
All right.
All right, that's 6 over for the day.
That is 6 over for the day.
Hole number 14 at us.
All right, 556. Okay, 102. Oh, goodness. And the slow and the swing combine for double-edged disaster.
Deep in the spinach.
All right, can't do much there. I might not clear the bunker. No, we did. All right. I was just worried if I was hitting at it.
Now let's go for the green.
What that would have looked like.
Third.
All right. Feet up in the air. We're going to go right here. Hitting over that little water gap, so a little bit of danger, but
that'll do. Grab your
again, I laugh at danger, right? I forget what movie that's from. It is downhill.
Yikes,
so
that went right by.
Pace was fine.
This next putt for par.
But, you know, you can probably see, I mean, the game results very similar, so, you know, I'll probably, now that we're getting close, you know, I'll probably stick with this for a few more rounds just to try to see what things feel like. Again, swing's getting very similar. Wow, talk about chewing that one over. Swing's very similar now to where I've been at.
Okay, I'm liking that one. Nice chip.
So I guess the good news is
for the
I
save.
can adjust to new controllers pretty effectively,
Good
because
stroke.
it definitely is a
And you are
much
6 over
different
par,
amount
optimal. Here
of
we
energy
go
needed to
on
pull
hole
it.
number 16.
But like I said, if I stick with it, I need to adjust a bit. I should be able to carry that because it's 71 feet down
I think I'll
to the
take
green.
that. Tee
So
shot
yeah,
looks
so we are good. All right,
good. This looks like
350,
about
not
120
terribly
yards to the
far.
pin.
All right. Oh boy, that's a big one. Not quite as much, but we also had the slow, which pulled it back.
Right
It'll hit out,
I think.
so we got a lucky kick somewhat. My
Well,
goodness.
That's gonna get counted as a missed green.
Yeah, this is the one that people complain about for sure, where things just don't stick at all. All right, third perfect chip.
Nice little chip there.
But have not hit a perfect on the tee yet. I mean, I don't do it that often anyway, but so I get that it's not like a gimme that, oh, the other controller's easier on perfects, but
might be able to do some fun stuff on this short par 4.
Okay.
Didn't sound like your purest of strokes.
All right. Good stroke as far as path, but yeah, if it had landed up there, that would have been pretty sweet, honestly.
Shot here on the 17th.
All right, if I go there, it's going to move me down 8, 10. This should be all right.
Okay, third shot.
A little weak with the slow. All right, now we got a very fast.
A 5-footer. Nice pot in there for par.
So, long way to go for par.
6 over par on the round. And teeing it up now for the final hole.
All right. Slow again. So yeah, it just seems like on the tee shots, it's at that edge either way. I have yet to hit a perfect off anything but the chip. You know, it's like all these swings, you can see they're just landing over there. There's definitely more variation with the results I have with the other controller, for whatever reason that might be. Again.
Yeah, that'll work.
That will work.
And this one is for the birdie. This putt's good so far.
Come on. All right.
Well done. You
so 2 birdies?
Finish your round
2 birdies.
With a birdie.
All right.
That's good stuff.
+5, so I stayed the same from the back 9 to the front 9. So basically hit even on the back 9.
That. I had a lot of fun out there with you today. Thanks for taking me around the course. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, because it's showing like space advance, so I'm going to restart. Because I will go ahead and play at least one more round with the wired controller. So yeah, you can see a lot of ridiculous greens, more silly greens, horrid greens. People don't like the greens. So they are challenging, but my view, we're all playing them. So I've never been one in any of this, because you get all those complainers all the time. It's like, we're all playing the same course, so if the greens suck for you, they suck for me too. And if I get a better score or you get a better score, well, then you're better, or I'm better. I mean, so I don't see the point in that bitching and moaning, frankly. So, in any event, we'll do this. We'll see, what we can do. Obviously, with the research I'm trying to do with this, certainly going to be a little more focused on getting rounds in, whether it's here or in the other, just the offline stuff. Again, to me, the offline courses tend to be more challenging still, so I definitely think those are going to be pushing my skill set a little bit more. I've kind of established toward the end of Season 10 in TGC Tours that I was getting better scores in TGC Tours than I was on the offline courses. So now that my offline courses have gotten a little bit better, I would hope that these would get better, but +5's not so wonderful. But we'll see how things go. As always, if you have not dropped a like or are not a subscriber, please consider those things. They're greatly appreciated, greatly assist with the channel, and I will see you next time.